Dearest gentle listeners, you are listening to the Ladies Bridgerton, the talk of the town. We are your effervescent hosts, your neighbourhood-friendly Kiwi touch from Middle Earth, New Zealand.
And Patty, Regency romance enthusiast, currently writing her Pisces Premonitions era.
Ooh. Settle down onto your favourite settee as we delve into the lives of the elite and illustrious ladies, lords, and royalty of the town. This Bridgerton podcast is two friends talking romance, symbolism, Easter eggs, and seeing as today is the Wallflower Ball, we're going to be demure with it. Deep diving into the connections of our favourite characters. We cover both book, TV series, and notable social media, and therefore will contain spoilers.
Dearest listeners, today's episode is a study in manipulation and desperation. Araminta decides to help Cressida, and Paul and Tilly groom Benedict for their pleasures. We also see the Wallflower Ball commence, or as I like to call it, Colin and Penn's engagement celebration take 2. The drama is plentiful in the final scenes of Romancing Mr. Bridgerton. Where was the romance?
On the walls.
Right?
All right, let's talk pot snacks.
Pot
Snackety snacks.
First of all,
can I go first?
I want to say we have a sponsor for today's pod. Not really. I have to get the name of the business because Patty had some serious technical difficulties this week. Her charger cord broke in her computer, and I took it to Astro Computers in Medina. So I wanted to name them because only a little piece, like I got it out, but a little piece stayed in, and I tried everything. I couldn't get it out. And I thought, oh my gosh, my podcast career is over. And
right as I'm not going to beginning.
Yeah, I'm not going to be able to.
Right as we're just getting famous.
So I went to Astro Computers, and I don't remember the gentleman's name, but the lady I talked to on the phone's name is Hunter, and they took care of me. And they got the little piece of charger out of the port, and they didn't charge me anything. So I wanted to say they sponsored today's podcast episode because I'm able to record because I was able to charge my computer.
That's so lovely. Like it was so lovely that they did that for us.
Yeah, it was a 5-minute fix, and they said if it takes less than 5 minutes, they don't charge you. But if it goes over 5 minutes, then they charge you for the hour of labor. So I lucked out.
I want to do Bud's next because literally right before we started recording, the most fantastic timing ever. My favorite snacks from Japan just arrived in the mail. I have been searching for these for 2 years, and nowhere in New Zealand sells these. It's Japan's version of, like, they call them potato sticks, Jacariko original flavor. They call it taste almost like if you got mashed potato and added herbs and MSG and then deep fried them. That's the flavor.
Okay.
They're
and
so good.
My pod snacks today, I made soup from broth to finished product. I even made the broth because I had a rotisserie chicken. So I used the bones and I made chicken bone broth. And I know I've been doing a soup every Sunday for the last 3 Sundays, but it's winter, guys. So that's part of that. It's the rest of my kale, the chicken from the rotisserie chicken, and I did a mix of Great Northern beans and cannellini beans. And then my sweet snack, I'm so excited, it's an edible cookie dough made from white beans, and you can't taste that it's beans, and the texture's spot on. It's got a little, I could eat this whole thing and it'd be fine. Like the calories and everything would be fine because all I've had today is kale and chicken soup, but I won't because it has a slight aftertaste because I use sugar-free maple syrup instead of regular, which I think in the future, because that's the only real sugar in it besides the chocolate chips, is I think I would just, because it's only a 1/4 cup. So I would just use regular maple sugar next time, but it's super, super spot on.
Now, do you use real maple syrup there or do you use maple flavored syrup?
Well, most of what gets sold in U.S. stores is maple flavored syrup, but you can find real maple syrup. The Amish make it.
Amish? Not Amish, Canada? Not Canada?
Well, Canada makes it too, but that's imported. If you go to the Amish, they're right down the road from me.
I get
I'm not that far from Amish country.
Mine comes from, I think, Quebec, and I will not eat anything. It's the Queen Anne, maybe?
Yeah.
The Queen, just Queen. but it is a superior product. I love it.
Is it us? I wish I'd added more peanut butter. I can barely.
We have mucho news this week. What have we got to cover?
First of all, happy birthday today, recording day, not the day this drops, but today, recording day, is Maria's birthday, and Claire's birthday is Friday. So happy birthday to Claire as well.
Happy birthday to you both. And when this drops, we will be officially 1 week into our new season 4. Actually, it'll be 1 week, 2 weeks after, because we will probably drop a season 4 episode overview of each episode, I think.
Yeah, something like that.
In between.
Like just our initial.
We'll alternate
like
weeks or something.
like we did with we already did episode 1, our initial reaction. So we have to do initial reactions for 2, 3, and 4.
Yeah, so I think should we just alternate weeks or something?
Something like that. It'll work out.
We'll figure it out.
I'm not worried. I do want to say congratulations to Luke Newton and the House of McQueen. They won the Broadway World Awards. I screenshot it. Oh, here it is. Broadway World Off-Broadway Awards. So it's not a Tony, because the show has to be on Broadway to be nominated. So Broadway World does an off-Broadway awards, and Luke Newton won Best Performance in a Play and Best Solo Performance, and House of McQueen won a total of, I think, 11 awards. So congratulations, Luke Newton, much deserved. Much, much, much deserved. And then we got some promo video for the new baddies in town. We got Araminta, Lady Penwood, and we got Rosamond and Posey. Posey is adorable, and Rosamond is Cressida with an actual with narcissism, because I think Cressida grew up in a home where she didn't really have much love, so she was more of a competition thing. And
I have more news that we want to.
Oh, there's more news, but I'm just saying, I think that Rosamond is the new mean girl, and she is.
Oh, absolutely.
She thinks she's better than literally everyone. She was like,
you know what?
He deserves to be with me.
I think that this actress is going to be something special, because, as she was saying it, like a lot of these introduction videos, promo videos, whatever, because they're monologue-y, so like they do come off as a bit awkward. Hers, I actually think, was probably one of the most fluent reads that I had seen. Like, she embodied every single ounce of mean girl spirit that there is, to even the micro expressions that she was pulling. Like, she was the mean girl, you know?
And I will say something I love that they're doing with promo this year, and I don't think it's been done in the past, at least I've never noticed it, but I feel like now that Penelope has outed herself as Whistledown, the people that know her or have met her, I almost feel like when Lady Whistledown is talking, they're reacting like they're hearing it. Like Whistledown is talking directly to them. I noticed it with Eloise, and who else?
Well, I mean,
pretty much all of the Bridgerton.
Yeah, but we're not talking episode 1 yet.
No, I mean in the promos. When Lady Whistledown at the end of the promo, when Lady Whistledown is saying her part, the character, the actor is acting like they're hearing it for real, like Penn's talking to them almost.
Okay, yeah.
And
okay,
I like that.
Posey, I was in love with Posey's intro video, because we are 1000% getting the Posey from the books, minus the fact that she's not slightly cuddly. That was, I think, because Posey in the book was a little bit cuddlier.
In the book, Rosamond was tall and thin, so they switched up the casting a little bit, which is interesting.
Yes. I mean, it's a pretty tall order to find a more cuddly Korean person, but they went Chinese descent, not Korean. So, yeah. I think Korea and Japan have a 4% overweight rate. Like,
I don't know.
Crazy small. I digress. I want to give
What news do you have? Because I have one more.
It's actually news I haven't even. I forgot to tell you it, and I don't know why. Because
I need to know if you have the news that I have.
No.
Before I give the last news,
because you're not on Instagram. I want to give a huge shout out to our favorite footman of all, Ollie Higginson, because he has just released his debut track this week, which is called One of Those Faces. I will input like a tiny clip of it.
thought you were someone. If only you were famous, I'd probably be kissing you now.
It's really catchy. You can find it. He's got an Instagram page.
TikTok.
He's got a TikTok. Yeah, he's fantastic. I really, really enjoy. He's really fun. So we want to give a huge shout out to our favorite footman, John, who we have asked to come on the pod, but he has not opened my DM. Let me slide into your DMs, Ollie, please.
You brave soul. Yeah. And then, so my last two things, we've had so much promo this week with interviews. All the interviews are being posted. They were all recorded back in October because Nicola's wearing that blazer and tie. Luke was part of some of them, but they did not have Nicola and Luke be together except in like 2 interviews, I think. And it's pretty obvious why, because the 2 of them together are like, they're the talk of the ton. That's all and some things I'm looking forward to are there was a interview with Luke Thompson where he talked about the whole Midsummer, like the whole first episode is really Shakespearean, and not just the ball, but like it's kind of like Shakespearean farce. Like there's so many things that happen. And he really played it, and you can tell because his acting in that first episode, like I even talked about how amazing it was. So they did lean into his experience with being a Shakespearean actor, because I mean, even his very first thing he ever did was Shakespeare, was Much Ado About Lysander. And then some things I don't like is that they pretty much made Colin, I mean, they took the Colin, my wife, Bridgerton a little too far to where he literally has no life except his wife, and he has no idea what's going on this season. He said, Luke Newton said, Colin as a character is completely oblivious to everything that's going on, which is kind of annoying. But last but not least, we got some behind the scenes from the filming of season 4, you know, where they hold up the 4 fingers. There's a bunch of photos. Guess who's in the photos?
Cressida?
Somebody we thought was not going to be in this season. We made an assumption based on her counterpart saying they weren't going to be in this season. Philippa!
Seriously?
Philippa's in the behind the scene pictures. Yes.
Holy caboodles. I hope. I mean, I know that Finchie was cast probably more as a main character in another TV series.
I believe, yeah, he's project.
So maybe
Bessie Carter did her other project, so projects, I think that's why they weren't able. Yeah.
She's actually been really busy since finishing up. Yeah. She's been doing a bunch of Broadway and movies, TV series. I know she's in another Regency TV series.
No, 1920s.
1920s. Okay. Yeah. Sorry. I
forget what it's called.
Another oldies. It's 20s. Yeah,
another period piece. Yeah. But yeah, that's the Bridgerton news for this week. And we only have 4 more days until the drop of season.
Yeah, honestly, I went to the Ed Sheeran concert last night. I may or may not have bought my tickets 2 hours before it began as on a whim because it was so rainy that the tickets went on sale down to $70. Because obviously a lot of people probably cancelled their tickets because Saturday night was so rained out that his stage stopped working. Some of the promo video stuff stopped working. He had to change guitars. I think he said like 6 or 8 guitars got so waterlogged that they had to throw them out.
Oh my gosh.
When I got home, my clothes were dripping wet. My dad, on his birthday, drove me to this concert with my new student, Marina. My new student has just arrived as well. But my dad, on his birthday, drove us to this concert, and then an hour into it, came and drove all the way back to come and bring us raincoats because we were soaking wet. But at that point, though, it was kind of a lost cause, and I was literally like wet.
So you are escorting your very own Marina around your
I am, but this one's far sweeter, far sweeter, and hopefully not
That's
pregnant. Oh, that would be
fingers crossed.
Yeah, thankfully I don't have to find her a match. So, I mean, if I fall in love with her, like as a daughter, maybe I'll find her a match with one of my cousins and keep her. Um,
So things are a little different today. We have switched roles because Tasha's been so busy, she was unable to take notes. So your Chaos Queen Patty took notes week. I apologize if they're not up to standard, and they're all handwritten. So I will have to scan them and upload them to Patreon.
I ended up
later.
taking notes over the last hour, but they are not as detailed as normal.
So we begin this episode with Cressida and Araminta.
Mhm.
And I know I'm starting the episode
Well,
negative,
it
but as
kind
we
of
talk about
it starts
wasted
more
time,
Lord Cowper.
yes, that's what I'm getting into.
Yeah.
As we talk about wasted time and what we could have had, like more Polin scenes, more happy Polin, more makeup scene at the end, things like that. To me, this is wasted space because Lord Cowper is loud. We're seeing Cressida hear him in the nursery. He says everything. And then later, Araminta repeats it. So that is wasted time that could have been used elsewhere for something that actually furthered the story. Because we have Lord Cowper screaming how he got ousted from his club and he's revoking her dowry because no man's going to want her now because he is so humiliated. He basically wants to disown his daughter, I feel like he's so done. Their reputation is shot. He's livid.
Like I actually think that his part needed to be in because it gave us backstory into how he treats both of them. But what
Yes.
was superfluous was her coming in. She could have said one line. I assume you heard all of that.
Right. But we get a wasted moment because Cressida is like, mother, what's wrong? Girlfriend, you heard, and yeah, you need some reassurance, but you could have said, mother, what was that? You know what I mean? Like,
This is one of those moments where when she says what's wrong, she reminds me of a scared little bird. Like,
well, she's dressed like a schoolgirl. She's in her pink with the touch of black. Every time Cressida's stressed
she
out,
looks
her
very
pink
young.
has a touch of black. But they have her hair done up. Her hair is the bow again, but her hair is down her back. She looks very much like a girl.
Well, and I think that this is one of the moments that does actually remind me that she is so young. Like, for as much as she's on the ton, like, sorry for anyone who is actually this age, but like under 20, like, I mean, to be fair, I count anything under 25 as still being like on the cusp of being a kid. You're still on the cusp of like the older I get, the more I'm like, oh,
The worse it is. Yeah.
you feel like at 25 you're a grown up, like you're getting into the era usually where people are starting to have children, everyone's getting married off, whatnot. No, 25 is so young still. Like I look at my cousins who are that age and I'm like, you guys are babies. You're like, you are absolutely in your, I'm expected to act like an adult, but I'm faking it till I make it kind of era. That's to me what up to your 25 is. So I think this is a moment that reminds us that even though these girls are thrust onto the marriage mart and are expected to have children within a year of this age, that they are still very much children themselves. They don't know how to navigate and they still rely on the experiences of their mothers and such in order to guide them to what the right choice is.
Yeah, I agree. And then I just want to point out here, we are seeing through Cressida, and Cressida took responsibility in the book as well, but Penelope never let her have that, right? She never got to write a Whistledown. She never got to claim it. So I do like this change in the show that we see Cressida trying to write a Whistledown because we are also seeing what consequences Penelope would have endured. And I think it would have been worse for Penelope because the Featheringtons are not as of a higher standing in the ton as the Cowpers are, or the Cowpers think they are, we'll say. And so we're seeing Cressida locked in her room. Like she's not allowed to come out of her room. Her dad has now taken away her dowry, which I have a whole other soapbox when we get to that part. She's worried about what the queen's going to do to her if she cannot produce a thing. And this is a queen that beheaded people and put them in the Tower of London for real. And her own father, who is not her, but just her adjacent, got ousted from his club. Like, when you lost your membership to a club, it took a lot, if at all possible, to get back in. So she was ruining her family. And I like that because we have developed negative feelings for Cressida over these 3 seasons, it's a little easier to watch Cressida go through this than it would be, I think, for the audience to watch Penn. But this is very much indicative of the queen giving in and letting her continue Whistledown at the end is totally because of 2 things. Her last name is now Bridgerton, and much like Luke Newton said in Luke Newton or Claudia Jesse or Hannah Dodd, it was in one of their interviews. They said that the Bridgertons were like the Kardashians. Like,
yeah, I remember
so
that.
much money they don't know what to do with. Like,
I feel like it was
everybody
Claudia.
loves them. Yeah. Colin or Luke Newton said they were bougie. He said his modern thing Colin would have is
Plain.
a private jet because they're bougie. But because the Bridgertons are who they are in the ton, and she is now a Bridgerton, she gets a pass. And Lady Danbury went to bat for her with the.
I also think that it is kind of Lord Cowper has established himself amongst his gentlemen's club. I think Lord Cowper is probably respected amongst the snooty men of whites as being an
Lord
elitist.
Squad of the old guys.
Yes. Yeah. As being an elitist. And so he has secured his position through being the stoic, no nonsense. My family are proper. They do things the way that they're supposed to. I married the ultimate candy, very much that vibe. And she dresses the way that I wanted. Like, she looks prim and proper and feathered and whatever. Like, I think he's established himself as a certain image. And then when he had a daughter who clearly showed that she did not respect him, because a daughter who respected her father would not bring such scandal upon him, he lost all respect of the ton. And so it was that the facade that he has created amongst these gentlemen was completely smashed, and it embarrassed him. And of course, what do narcissists do when they are embarrassed but double down on their cruelty?
Well, and I want to bring this up too, because we've been seeing the Cowpers have financial issues for the entire season, right? What we know, Lord Cowper invested in Jackson, right? So he's been slowly whittling away at the dress budget. They've been reusing dresses, different
He's
things
been
like
trying
that.
to make out that it's because of Cressida, but I don't think it is.
Yes, he's been trying to blame her, like she's not getting a suitor. And now he's taking away her dowry, which was significant. I don't think he was ousted from the club because she came out as Lady Whistledown. I think he couldn't afford
not paying his debts.
He couldn't afford his debts at the club and got ousted. And he's got to pay his debts to be able to go back. So he's taking her dowry for that. Because it seems like a very Alfred?
Yes.
Featherington? It seems like a very Lord Featherington. Like, he's very much acting, although Lord Featherington was a little more quiet.
Archibald.
Archibald, thank
Alfred
you.
is Debling.
Alfred is Debling, yeah. But as a narcissist, he is placing the blame outside of himself on someone else. Because he feels shame.
I'm a strong man.
I would never investing in a scheme that turned out to be fraud.
Yeah, I'm a strong man. I would never make a bad investment that's, financially corrupting us. It's surely my daughter's lack of prospect that is the thing that's doing it.
And I think he's the one who sent Dundas more than Araminta. I think he sent Dundas because he's desperate to get his money back.
Let the record state that if I ever go bankrupt, it is 1000% not because of my husband and 1000% because I can't stay out of the Bunnings garden section.
Well, we all know that
it's me.
All of those TikTok videos you've watched about ADHD and money is all me. Every single one. Every one I see, I'm like, I resemble that.
I mean,
for sure.
Can you go into my garden right now and get blueberries and raspberries and strawberries and boysenberries and blackberries? Yes. So is it worth it? 100%. But this is a scene that we do actually see a more soft and maternal side to Araminta. And I think that it shows that as much as Araminta is a narcissist, I think that she does care about Cressida as much as any narcissist can, as long as it fits into and doesn't affect
I'll give you
her.
that, because all the times I first watched it, and much like Adjua Ando recently in an interview said that the power of Bridgerton, it's built on single mothers.
Yes.
It's built on the stories of single mothers. And Araminta pretty much is a single mother because Lord Cowper is not involved in the raising of his daughter at all, you can tell. But rewatching this scene, you are watching Araminta in protection mode, but not for herself. She's trying to fix everything. She's trying to have her cake and eat it too. She wants her place in society, but she wants to help her daughter.
She has just seen her husband being outed from his positions, and now she is worried that she will also be outed from hers. But if Cressida can solidify herself as Lady Whistledown, Araminta can then use that to be like, my daughter's Lady Whistledown. If you asked me from our, Thursday brunches, guess who's going to be writing about all that gossip that I know about? Like, I can very much see that she...
Well, I think the first thing she's trying to do is not to get her daughter fully recognized as Whistledown, but to get her daughter out of the way. Because when she acquiesces, when Cressida said she's writing a Whistledown and her mom says, good, Cressida looks scared. Because if her mom is now agreeing with her...
I'm scared.
Well, that's later. But yeah, she looks totally fearful because if her mom is now agreeing, they're in desperate times, right?
Yes, because she had this big cockamamie idea and then was like, surely my mom's going to save me from myself.
Yeah. And then this is my other soapbox because she states that $5,000 isn't really a lot to live on like Cressida thought it would be, but it is enough to lure a husband from either the continent or the country, both indicators of I need to get you out of Dodge so that your dad and I can have our life we're supposed to be living.
But the way that she emphasizes those two options tells you just how lowly people think of country people, because she says
they'd rather her marry someone from the continent than the countryside.
Or the country. Like, it was like, oh, worst case scenario.
And I think that plays into season 4 because we did get a lot of little snippets that told us Benedict was going to be season 4, and I think this is one of them because he ends up
in the country.
A country gentleman. So that plays into it. But my soapbox here is the messaging that women have under the patriarchy regarding marriage. We've had similar messaging up until the 50s and 60s where these etiquette books would come out and it was like, you have to have immaculate makeup, be dressed in a dress, looking perfect and beautiful with the whole house clean, the kids quiet and everything when your husband comes home because he works so hard. But back then, and we still feel this need to be chosen today, women do, like they have the pick me girls that they, vilify today, but that is ingrained in our DNA for millennia at this point, because women were taught you either A, overachieve and gain a ton of accomplishments, learn how to play the piano, other instruments, learn several languages, be well read, learn how to dance, learn how to crochet, learn how to needlepoint. You got to have all these accomplishments. You have to be beautiful, or you have to have money to buy a husband.
I'm just realizing that it's like today's equivalent is you've got to have like 10,000 extracurriculars to get into the good universities and all of those things.
Right. You got to do all the, you got to be in sports. You've got to be in drama or some sort of music program. You have to be in teen leadership council or student council or whatever. Like, you're padding your college application. It is very much the same thing because you want to be chosen, or you have enough money to buy your way in, hence the dowry, or the final one, you trap a man, you get him in the orangery and you get caught, right? And for women, men look at women like, oh, they're devils, they're she-devils, they're Jezebels, and women get put down for it. But in the circle of women, every single one of those is considered a win. Even when people talk about, oh, did she catch him in a closet? They say it in a way that's demeaning because men do, but really they're like, ooh, she caught herself XYZ man. You know what I mean? Because the goal for women solely was to get married because they couldn't work and have money for themselves. And it is something that 200 years later, we're still experiencing. I know I grew up throughout my 20s into my 30s, having that feeling of, why am I not being chosen? Or like the first person that proposed to me, I have been proposed to twice in my life. The first one proposed to me in a public place with a lot of people. And I felt like I couldn't humiliate him by saying no, right? But I also felt a sense of relief that at least somebody's proposed to me. I remember that feeling. I did not I was nowhere near ready to marry him or anyone.
I'm going to be very vague here because nothing has come to a fruition from this conversation yet. But somebody asked me recently how to propose to somebody. And I was like, please, for the love of God, she is an introvert. Do not make it public. Like when I said don't make it, I was like, do not, I was like at a beach, a picnic spot, like that, all fine as long as there is not crowds, as long as no one is going to turn and notice it happening. Like I was like, she is not fussy. Just make sure it is not anywhere where if she has a panic attack that people are going to notice, like, and it's not panic attack because bad, but like if there's lots of people around, no. So I was like,
I agree. Like I hated every moment of that. And if I ever get proposed to again, I want it to be quiet. I'm okay with in front of a few family members, probably.
No, that's still her hell.
Comfortable people, but I'm not like a whole room of them. Maybe out to dinner, 1 to 2, or dinner at home, 1 to 2 people. Not a crowd. Not a crowd at all. Because I'm going to cry. I already know that. I don't even know who the guy is. I'm going to bawl my eyes out. And I don't like crying in front of people. So
back to the point. So Cressida reads out near and far, far and near.
No, my notes literally say Cressida's Lady Whistledown sounds like an essay written by a kid who hates English and there is a minimum word count.
Cressida reads out an article that I feel like one of my year 4 students could and would have written.
Like, write 500 words on alligators. And the kid is like, alligators are very, 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 very reptilian.
Cool and interesting. And mostly green, but not really, only in pictures. But in real life, they are actually more brown.
And by brown, I mean
dark brown, almost sort of grey.
Exactly.
I was like, oh my Lord, Cressida, would you like would you like to write more words in white font to make it look like your word count is higher than it is? You know how like that was like a cheat code for a while there where people would write in white font so the word count for a professor would show up that it hit the word count, but actually she was that vibe.
But I kind of got the vibe here too, almost of how unprepared she is to do this, because this is the rom-com season and there's a lot of rom-com vibe that this is like in Clueless when Cher gets up and has to talk about the Haitians. I totally kind of got that vibe. Like, I have no idea what I'm talking about, but I got to talk about it anyway. So it just reminds me of a party I had for my dad, and not everybody RSVP'd. Just kind of gave me that vibe.
Yep. No, I get
like
that.
Cressida's like, I have to do this.
Cressida is.
But I don't know what I'm doing.
Cressida is like not even Gretchen Wiener because she's not that high pitched. She's more the who was Amanda Seyfried's character?
Oh my God, she's so Amanda Seyfried's character. What was her name?
My brain's Gretchen. It'll come to me.
I don't.
I need to, you know, I can't just let things go.
Look it up on IMDb. So Cressida thinks it's good until she sees Aramenta's reaction, and then she freaks out. She sits down and she gets really vulnerable. She looks like a child, and she's like, "Mother, I'm frightened." And Aramenta,
Karen,
her idea of Karen,
my boobie says it's going to rain. Probably because it's currently raining on my boobie. It's the vibe.
Aramenta's idea of comfort is to come stand by her daughter with her hand on her back. Like, no hug, no words of comfort or affirmation.
There.
So she doesn't even prayers. Say she's worse than the queen. She doesn't even say sorrow's prayers. She's worse than the queen as a mother. But then we see her decide what to do. She like thinks to herself and she nods. Is she a mother protecting?
Who did we on our episode where we did like mothers rank? I think we put the queen as the worst.
The queen was,
yeah, she is the worst.
She held no space for her son who just lost his wife and daughter.
Yeah. Yeah.
Now this could appear to be a mother protecting her daughter, and I think at first you might have had that inkling, but she ends up using this whole scenario to protect herself and her family name. So, and to tout her. So moving into the next scene now, we see Eloise finishing preparing the ball. Sans lady's maid, I would like to say. Obviously, they need to hire a lady's maid. So we should have known Benedict was season 4.
Clearly.
They haven't had a lady's maid for Eloise since like the second season, I think.
Do you know how wild it is to have 2 girls on the meat market? I don't know what you call it. My brain's
Marriage Mart.
Meat market, same thing. Come on.
Same thing. The auction block.
Meat market, marriage mart, or M&Ms.
Yeah.
To have 2 girls on the meat market and not have anyone to prepare them, that it just would not happen. Would not happen.
No, I promise you, like Mrs.
They would
Wilson is
each
going
have
back
one.
and forth. Because if you think about like Pride and Prejudice, they really did only have Hill, and Hill helped everybody. So it's kind of similar to that. Mrs. Wilson is probably like bringing shoes, bringing gloves, but she's not actively helping them dress or anything. And there's probably another maid, maybe Violet, because Violet would have her own lady's maid. She's probably doing the hair.
But Benedict also made a comment in season 4 that I think is okay to say, because I don't think it's a spoiler in the slightest.
Probably not a major one anyway.
No, he asks Sophie, "Where is your chaperone?" And I do think that it was very common to attend a ball with your family and a chaperone, because especially if there were multiple daughters on the mart at once, a mama or pa or whoever could not. And there was that TV series, the Regency TV series that I was telling you about, the Ladies Companion or something like that, in another language, where that was her job. And literally people back then did have companions as well as being chaperoned by their mums, but they needed someone to be with these women 24/7 to, as I said, help with the gravy boat situation under the dress. Do you think Violet is going to be holding a bloody gravy boat under her daughter's?
No,
like,
but every
okay,
house has
now.
servants, and their own servants are supposed to help.
I'm making the noises so you can tinkle.
And the Bridgertons did not take an extra person, because with all of the brothers, there was a Bridgerton in every.
Yeah, but I think like for the logistics of it, I do think that if this weren't for a TV purpose and it was real life, that they would each have a chaperone or lady's maid or someone to help them.
They should definitely have a lady's maid.
Yes.
And it's possible they may have had a lady's maid. It might have been Francesca and Eloise, and the lady's maid was with Francesca in this moment. And then Francesca took the lady's maid with her. I mean, she didn't travel with them when they went to, but I mean, there were people on the luggage carriage,
but it was
because one
sort
carriage
of
was all luggage.
It was sort of a plot twist though, because not plot twist, like a plot failure, plot hole. I was like, I know words.
There's a few plot holes.
But it's a plot hole in the entirety of the 4th book / season, because if Posey and Rosamond were to have a lady's maid at the event, it would have been Sophie.
Yes, but I think that Lady Penwood also would not take one, because she really is only concerned with finding a husband for one of her daughters, portraying Posey.
And
She's
Sophie looked
her.
so much like the Lord Penwood that she would not want people to see her.
Wanted to keep her hidden.
Because she kept it, like, whenever anyone of note came to the house, she, like, locked her away because she didn't want people to see, because they would see immediately that that was his daughter.
Yeah. So Eloise is preparing for the ball, and she needs to find something in her desk, and she pulls out the very, 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 very first Lady Whistledown, the one she found on the steps. And we see a moment of remembrance for her, and that she is acknowledging that Penelope is a clever writer. Like,
yes.
She's nowhere near ready to admit that Whistledown is a worthy business endeavor,
a worthy
writing endeavor.
To me, like, it felt like a moment where it was like a nostalgic moment of putting my own feelings aside of what was written about me. This is why I loved and appreciated them in the first place. Yeah. That gossip aside, they were well written, and she's actually coming to appreciate. It had to be
the first one. It had to be the first one, because there was very little true gossip in the first one, because Penn hadn't even been to a ball yet, right? So the only conversation was, the only stuff she talked about was the Bridgertons and the Featheringtons and the debut and stuff like that. So that's the one that Eloise would have to read to be reminded that the writing is very clever and very good in the Whistledown. So we're seeing Eloise soften towards Penelope a little bit. Like she's coming around. She's just real slow at it.
And it did start as the Bridgertons always being talked about fondly.
Yes.
Until
But the part
Marina.
she read was well written about, like, it was kind of making fun of Byron because Byron said women, female writers, basically.
Yeah.
So it was a play on words that is very clever. And that's a segue scene, so it was pretty short.
Yeah.
And
I don't want to. I don't
either. I don't either. Can we skip it? Anyways, it's the dinner party.
Paul is a gross, slimy snake. The end. Okay. Next episode. I'm done. Oh, gross.
Well, and I'll just say, like, I didn't write anything super specific because it really does give me the ick.
I have so
But I just want to say that we see the foreshadowing of what Benedict's going to be like in season 4 here, because he's trying to keep it surface level. The more Paul is grilling him, the more he's trying to keep it light.
Can we talk about the first words?
Passionate pursuits. Can
we talk about the first words? Because it is taken straight from his book.
Yeah. So you're a second son.
Like, Paul is immediately belittling Benedict, referring to him not as a Bridgerton, not as an artist. And I'm sorry, but Paul is of the ton. Lady Tilly reads Lady Whistledown. This is another plot hole. There is not a shit show in hell that they do not know that Benedict attended art school, because it was, I'm sure, written in the Lady Whistledown articles.
But I think they do know, and here's why. Because he says you're a second son, and Benedict is like, yes, and I'm trying to live up to the ne'er-do-well reputation of a second son. And he goes, well, do you have any pursuit outside of being a second son? Like,
it felt like he was trying to put Benedict in his place. Like, you're merely a second son. Like, because he didn't mention the fact that, you're the brother of a Viscount. You are second.
No, he said you're
line
just a second
to the
son,
Bridgerton Viscount.
But when he says the next line, he goes, do you dance? Do you whatever? And then he goes, or maybe paint? Like, he paused before paint. And Benedict is like, oh, no. Like, he instantly shot it down.
I don't know.
Paul knew he painted.
I felt like Paul was trying to see if he was a viable interest, but also put him in his place to see. Because we were talking about... I
don't think he was interviewing him at all as a viable interest for Tilly whatsoever. I
think
the two of them went into this
throuple.
Yeah, but I think the throuple thing has nothing to do with what his pursuits are. I think he wanted to say, I have seen your work, or I know you paint, but then Benedict shot it down. And even in that moment, Tilly looks at Benedict kind of disappointed, like,
yes,
why would you say no? I think they both know he paints, but he's saying he doesn't. He's shooting it down.
I thought it was more of Paul is trying to determine, are you just a bored party boy? Are you vapid?
Yes.
Are you a gentleman, like a Lord Squad situation? Or do you have something that makes you interesting and worth my time to talk to?
See, I see it differently. And it's the exact same thing, but turned on its head.
Like, are you arm candy or are you interesting?
I think Paul was worried because Paul's interest in Benedict is purely sexual.
Yes.
He is flirting the entire time. He wants to keep his wine filled. His flirting later becomes very obvious, and we never see Paul again except for in a bedroom, pretty much.
Yes.
So it was purely sexual. So he doesn't care about Benedict as a person, what his pursuits are. I think this is more like a Pinocchio moment, where, you know how the guys lead Pinocchio to that island of misfit boys or whatever. I know I'm thinking Island of Misfits from that Christmas, but like the island for misfit boys, like they purposely find boys that are impressionable, that they believe that they can get to go there and trap them there, but they won't tell anyone. And I think that's the thing. Like, he wants to make sure Benedict isn't going to all of a sudden want to be respected. Like, if he's got noble pursuits, if he is like trying to,
if he is a name to uphold,
of the ton, yes, then he could end up ousting them and their secret and they don't want that. They want to make sure they can, and this is a narcissistic thing too, like when they target people. And I'm not saying Paul's a narcissist, I'm just saying it's very similar, that you have a
He's an
person
opportunist.
You have a person, he's gauging how much he can manipulate Benedict and get what he wants without any repercussions. Like,
Well, and the thing is I feel like because Benedict is a man and Paul is a man, people are not seeing this necessarily for how it is. And it was
for this
very much
power play that it
grooming.
is,
It was
yeah.
very much power play. You can see the putting down. This is what narcissists do. They put you down or compliment sandwich or whatever in
Put him
order.
down first, and then out when they're alone, he does nothing but flirt and talk him up, like, oh no, I find you charming and all that.
Yes.
But only like earlier I was a second son. It's complete manipulation.
Because it puts you in a position where you want to please that person and want to make you vie for their acceptance or praise. And it's a yeah, I hate.
He's using the Darvo method. Darvo method is something that is pretty much by narcissists, but it's the same thing. You start out like
compliment sandwich.
You start out with nice things, some mean things, and you get the person addicted to your praise and your approval, and then you breadcrumb them. You give them mostly criticism and mostly put downs until it's like they're at their wits end and they're going to walk away, and then you breadcrumb them to bring them back. And he's very much using that method to test the waters to see if Benedict is someone they can.
You can tell that Lady Tilly is quite nervous here, though. Like, it's not going the way that she wants it to. She thought these guys were going to hit it off so well, and she was going to get Paul's approval. And
my notes, I have that Tilly is acting more like a matchmaker than somebody having her beau meet her friend. Like, she wants them to get along. Like, she's trying to match those two together. And even later, I have that.
See, I don't feel like it was that at all. I felt like she was like, hey, we've been a sexual fling with a platonic friendship attached to it. So we've acted like a couple, but we've never intended to be a couple to each other. We're just friends with benefits, essentially. And this is someone maybe that I could have something with. And I think she was trying to get Paul's approval that, like, I don't want to do this thing with you anymore. I want it to be Benedict. But then Paul's like, well, we could all be. Sorry, not Benedict. Paul is.
So you feel like he was manipulating her as well, because she seemed like pretty excited later that he thought Benedict would be on. That's why she kissed.
Yeah, I don't know. It's been a while since I watched the rest of it, but like at this point, I feel like she is excited about Benedict, and this is the first time that she's had the stirrings of any sort of feelings more than just sexual. And I think that the throuple thing was more like the initial, whether he's open to it or not, it was more that it just gave her the confidence that he's not closed-minded, that he isn't bound by rules of society. Not that she necessarily wanted him to keep at the bisexual throuple, all that kind of thing, but more that it was almost like a rite of passage for anyone that she was interested in, that you have an open mind, if that makes any sense at all.
Well, and this could be the fact that I'm an American and that the time this was being written and filmed at the height of Epstein. But I get the vibe like Paul is an Epstein, she is a Ghislaine Maxwell, and she brings him fresh
potential
meat.
Yeah, I mean, it could very much.
That's the vibe I got.
For me, she felt nervous because she was really interested in Benedict, and now that she's got him in front of someone else, he is not living up, like he's not acting like the Benedict that she knows, and he's not embarrassing her, but like she doesn't know how to make him.
He's been very vulnerable with her, and he's been very open with her, but he's closed off with Paul and doesn't understand why, I think.
Yeah, and it's like when the person you're interested in is being a completely different person and you're like, who, what, and why? That was just kind of, but anyway, she tries to lighten the mood and explain Paul's artistic interest, that Paul's not asking whether you have these hobbies because he's belittling you. It's just that he's interested in them too, and he's just trying to find something to bond over. Like, she's trying to bridge the gap between them. Paul
and again, rom-com vibe. This is totally Bridget Jones' Diary, where they're helping Bridget learn how to introduce people to people at a party. Like, this is Perpetua. She's my work colleague, and she's, like, she's saying that all of this stuff, like, because that is the etiquette for introducing people. Like, she's introduced Benedict to Paul. Paul has shot him down. Like, nothing she has said seems to have panned out, right?
Yeah.
And now she's doing the same thing for Paul. He gives all of his time to the arts.
Yes. So Paul goes on to tell a story, but is very intimately talking about Tilly in a way that kind of, to me, alluded to them being a couple of sorts. Like, the second that he started talking, I'm like, this seems very familiar. Like, and
well, and I took
think
the familiarity as a, like, she has a way of attracting men
she
to
has a
her.
formula.
And she has a formula, and like, somebody who wasn't Benedict probably in this moment would have recognized it as, ooh, maybe I'm being played, because she seems to do the same thing with every person.
Benedict it seems to be sensing a theme of how they each met Tilly, and how, like, he makes a joke of like, her commanding a room, like her domineering the men in the room. And
yeah,
oh my Lord.
And I just, because I love words, because she said that he met her yelling at the director for bowdlerizing a great work. And I looked up bowdlerize, and it means to remove material that is considered improper or offensive from a text or account, especially with the result that the text becomes weaker or less effective.
Oh,
and I love
this should just be a word for American government right now.
Well,
shots fired.
I kind of see it as a because I think this whole storytelling and the way Tilly talks is probably some of the best written lines in the whole series. And using the word bowdlerize here is probably in a conversation that was had when they went to Netflix, or when they first were presenting Bridgerton and said, we can't cut out the improper stuff. We have to keep it in. That's part of this, right?
Mm-hmm.
And we can make story with that. But then I love the line
they
I love the
definitely
most.
cut back from season 1, which I think was a mistake.
They've cut back. I think in season 3 they cut back because they didn't feel that the audience would want to see a normal sized person in those kind of situations. And I think that was a mistake.
Like, we see a lot of Daphne and Simon. And I mean, when I say a lot, I don't just mean a lot of times. I mean, we see a lot of their bodies. It's a whole time.
Yeah. But my favorite line that is written, I think, in almost the whole series that is not romance rooted is, am I to stand for a lesser mind sanitized bastardization of a genius's great? I think that is such a great line. And I think the reason it is so great is because it sounds like a review.
Mm-hmm.
And obviously multiple writers wrote these episodes. I think one of the writers, Jess Brownell, or one of the other writers, had this said about them, or something similar said about them as they're writing, like, because they're not copying, but it's almost how we feel about what happened with season 3 versus the book, right?
Mm-hmm.
We saw a bastardization of Romancing Mr. Bridgerton. Yes. It is still a good story. We still love the season, but it was not the book at all.
It omitted the core of the book.
The core of Colin altogether.
Mm-hmm.
And Penelope was not treated very well either, because she is automatically a spinster after 3 years on the mart, and everyone else gets to make that for themselves. But I love that line because it just feels like one of the writers was very petty, had gotten that in a review or had it said in, an annual review at a job or something, and they put it in here to commemorate it, like, in such a way. I love the line so much.
Can we get a moment of silence that our computer will indicate out for the uncomfortable grossness that is Paul's laugh? Like, I physically shy away from my phone. Yes. I feel a deep well in my stomach. Like, I don't understand how anyone sees this and isn't who likes Paul. I don't understand how anyone can like Paul, because I don't know what it is. Like, this is not a homophobic kind of reaction at all. One of my favorite TV series. One of my favorite TV series was Queer as Folk, which was a very explicit sex scenes between men that I loved.
Heated Rivalry. You have to watch Heated Rivalry.
Absolutely. We don't have it on any. I'm going to have to get Stephen to download it, and I won't be able to watch it near my new student because
no,
Japan is very reserved.
No. I'm saying no, but it's amazing. And I have no problem. I have no problem watching love and watching romance and watching spicy.
But what I do have a problem with is grooming. I do have a problem with grooming.
And I wrote, my note says, when Benedict asks if she also told Paul to be very, very afraid of her, his laugh is overdone. Way overdone.
It was creepy. Like, I don't know what it, like, you know how women specifically, and I say women specifically because we have been born into a society where we have been bred to listen to our instincts for survival. This is a survival tactic of women. My visceral reaction was, get this man away from me. I don't like this one little bit. Like, he makes me physically uncomfortable where I do not want to engage. Like, I don't want to watch what he is on. Like, you know, those reactions where you just, I want out. I don't want to be near this. And I know that sounds really dramatic, but he just makes me deeply uncomfortable.
Yes. And I will say, I will equate it. Like, I struggle watching Kiefer Sutherland in anything. And he's a great actor, but I struggle watching him in anything because I saw him, and the title of the movie was just in my head, and now it's the one was Sally Field, where he raped her daughter.
Yes.
He was so evil in that movie that my mom loved her. I struggled to watch 24 with her because of that movie.
I watched
this dude, this actor playing Paul is so disgustingly smarmy and groomy and gross that I have no interest in even looking up because I won't be able to see him any other way.
Hourglass, The Cowboy Way.
Go to Eye for an Eye and see if Sally, because I think she goes after him.
Yeah, Sally Fields. And his name was Robert in it. Ugh. Robert.
Anyways, Kiefer Sutherland, you did such a good job being an evil bastard that I struggled to watch you ever since. And this dude, I don't even know the name of this actor, but I can't watch him in anything else. I don't want to see him in anything else.
King Joffrey from Game of Thrones got so abused that he quit acting because people hated him so much for the role he played. Like, I mean,
it's a good thing. No offense, kid, you know, that you quit acting, but I wouldn't have been able to watch him in anything else either. No. He was such a little douche canoe. It was awful.
I'm just looking up who.
Anyways, in this
actor.
scene,
his name is Lucas Aurelio, and well done to you because you did such a good job at making this character unlikable. Like, because
I mean, there are people that think Paul is super hot and he's so great, but I just think he's cringe.
Yeah, like, he's not unattractive. Physically, he's just repulsive to me.
He's repulsive. Yeah, he is so repulsive.
Yeah, so, yeah. But so, I mean, so many people overlook that because of how good looking he is, which is also a common theme in society. Attractive men don't women, do they? Because they can get anyone they want. Why would they want to anyone? Not that I should use that word because that'll get us flagged. I'll probably have to bleep that out. YouTube likes to private all of our videos. I'm probably because I say things like this. Probably because I say things like this.
Just the podcast. Yeah.
Because I'm a little too controversial. Soz. Yeah, I don't want to talk about.
Yeah, but there's so much subtext in this scene. Like,
here, Benedict, have some more alcohol.
Yeah, more alcohol. He's dry. Get him more alcohol. Apply him with alcohol. But there's so much subtext here that I just want to remind everyone who questions me when I say that Colin has loved Penn since the beginning. This is another scene where words are being said, but a whole entire conversation is being said through body language, eye contact, the pursing of Tilly's lips in a certain way. There's a whole separate conversation going on than what the physical words actually are. As human beings, we communicate with far more than our words. And this is a prime example. Benedict is uncomfortable. He's intrigued, but he's uncomfortable. And that, like, his giggle all the time, his nervous giggle. And Tilly goes from looking uncomfortable to looking excited, like she seeks Paul's approval too. I mean, it really is kind of gross.
Yes. Like there's definitely like a hierarchy going. Isn't it funny that Lady Tilly is literally hosting this party, but
Paul's running the show.
Paul's like not in a masculine I'm the man here, but like in that more narky, like I will show you who is running the show kind of a way. Don't love that.
I
One
think
little bit.
he was rushing things. He was hoping for action that night instead
Yeah.
of taking his time. And so he was
He's ready to
bulldozing.
throw his sausage down the hallway. Sausage trying to make you choke over there.
No, because I know the hallway's Benedict.
That was because men make these comments about women all the time, so it's much more fun when we get to make it about men.
Right.
Let the misogyny play to our favor.
So now we get out of the
Devious
gross
Danbury.
and we move into the Wallflower Ball, which I want to say this is my favorite ball this season. I love it. I think that
I don't.
I do. I love it.
I like it for
love
the dance scene, but otherwise, the full moon ball was mine. Half moon, full moon, whatever it was.
The full
Celestial.
moon ball was very beautiful, but I think that Alice put so much into this, like literally all of the pictures of flowers all the way up to the ceiling in the wainscoting. The middle thing is a flower bud and then it opens into a flower. Like I really do think this was my only issue, but I think this is part of the theming. And I'll just say it here because I say it at the end of my notes, but I'll say it here. I feel like because Alice and Will were at the engagement party and saw how it went down in flame, that Alice, knowing that Colin and Penn were going to come, I think she was trying to give them a round two, to give them a party that centralized Penelope as the fiance, but didn't make it obvious that that's what was happening. So the theme is wallflowers because Penelope was,
Yes.
and so many people were invited.
Not just Penelope, but because this is also the stirrings of Violet and Lord Marcus and its second chances, and it's feeding into that whole thing. And Violet was the original wallflower.
Yes, but I think in terms of Alice's thinking of Alice as a character and how she came upon this theme, I think it was to give Colin and Penn a second chance to centralize Penelope in a way that forced her to get the attention she deserved, but have it be where there literally is so many people crammed into this tiny room, and she has that huge flower bud in the center, that there's a very small walkable space, a very small dance floor. Only 8 couples can dance at a time, and everybody is a wallflower. She made everybody else be a wallflower, and Colin and Penn are literally the only central stars of the show that ever dance.
Yeah.
Everybody else is extras. So it's like Penelope gets to be celebrated without all eyes on, right?
Yes. Yeah.
So I think that was Alice's whole point.
Well, and I think that Alice,
we know later that
Alice has never been a wallflower because she was never even invited to the Don. Like,
no.
There's still got to be a certain level of respectability in being a wallflower, because at least then you were invited to the party to then be rejected by the people. Like, we'll invite you, but like just so you can see us, you can appreciate us, but like you are not one of us.
We invited you, but guess what? You're standing on a wall like everyone else, because that's pretty much what everybody did here.
I don't think that Alice has ever actually actively been a wallflower, but she sort of feels like an activist. Like if she had been in the Ton and still had the personality that she had, that she would be the one that was like, no, you ladies will not be a wallflower. We will dance amongst ourselves if we have to. Like she'd be starting a female-led dance party. Like she feels a little bit feminist, where not feminist, like feminine forward, where like her and Will are very much equal. She very much tells him what she is thinking. She does not sit there and, I mean, she does build him up, because that is as a couple should do. They should emotionally build each other up and give props. I mean,
they're the most emotionally healthy couple we have far. Like,
but at the same time, he also does the same for her.
But
like he also does the same for her. Like they do it for each other.
They have their moments.
Yeah,
they have their moments where they're not at their best, but they always repair in such a great way. I think they're a very healthy couple.
Yes, so I see why she came for this theme. I
Oh, and
just
did you
feel
see? I forgot this in Bridgerton. Did you see the photos from the South African premiere suite?
no.
The Mondriches went and Mosley.
Yeah,
Mosley's
yeah.
the actor name. I can't remember the
Michaela.
Mondriches actor names, but they dressed them up like culturally, and it's gorgeous. Just look up
It's-
Bridgerton
Did
South
they only send
Africa.
those three?
I think they only.
Is that not a real choice?
I think because they scattered everyone because most of these premieres are occurring over the next
Is
week or
that not
two.
a choice? Like, what? Wait, who is that? I have to send it. Who is this? I don't know who that is. I can't even. Is
There's
that
a lot of people that were invited that
this
were not.
blue dress with the caped back, cascading over the? Oh my! It's one of the cast, is it not? No, it's like the first photo when if you type in South Africa Bridgerton premiere.
Yeah, they
Oh.
had a lot of like extras dressed to the nine Bridger style.
Okay, now I've got the main. How did you say that we say her name? Mosley?
Masali or Masali.
Beautiful dress. It looks so out of place next. She like me has incredibly low shoulder to bust ratio, if that makes any sense at all.
Yeah.
Um and
her straps are a
the
little extra.
straps are so boxy. So I don't wear anything that is a box because I am already so short here that you need a curved neckline, not to show any cleavage or anything like that, but just to give more dimension.
Yeah.
But they all look incredible.
They do. I love Alice.
Alice's
it's very
is
muted colors, but
I feel like it washes her out a little bit.
It washes her out a little bit, but the
it's
dress
stunning.
itself and the
it's
hat
so stunning
is
that
gorgeous.
I can overlook the color choice because she looks so phenomenal. And
so anyways, we digress.
I know.
Let's
You know
pull it
what
back.
I'm like. You know.
I know you haven't had a chance to see it yet.
I have feelings about
She
the
welcomed
choices
a new student and she went to Ed Sheeran, guys. We got to give benefit out.
After I had been up till 5 a.m. with my child because apparently so excited to have a new big sister that we're just going to get up for the day at 2 a.m. for the day.
Yeah.
For the day.
His routines.
I said to Stephen, that every time that anything changes, like the sleep goes.
The sleep goes away for a
What
few
is
days,
sleep? What is coffee?
So we see the Bridgertons on, being wallflowers, and Lord Kilmartin sneaks up behind them, which I find and greets them. And he is greeted warmly when everyone turns around. He is greeted warmly by Violet, Colin, and Eloise. Eloise even, pats his arm. But Francesca just nods and bows. She says nothing. And that surprises me, considering she doesn't act excited to see him.
If you're not going to be excited for my choice, I'm not going to be excited for you. I'm gonna do the bare minimum.
To her own fiance?
Oh, sorry. I thought you said Lord Anderson for some reason.
No. Lord Kilmartin comes up.
My brain farted.
Yeah. So the family greets him warmly, but Francesca just nods and bows. And then she smiles and starts talking because they're moving away from them to focus on Lord Anderson and Violet making eyes at each other. But she greeted him, I felt, rather coldly, considering they're already sitting next to each other at church. Like, why are you pretending like you don't know each other now? That doesn't make any sense to me. But she has an agenda with her mother that I think is, because she's so single-minded, it affects her connection with Lord Kilmartin in a way. And I think he senses that, because when she gets agitated later, he's like,
I'm a bow
lady,
out.
this is your fight. I'm out. Yeah. He's like, I'm outie.
I'm sure it hurt his feelings, but we will get there. Can we talk about Devious Danbury now?
Well, we're there. Violet and Lord Anderson start making eyes at each other across the room in their respective conversation groups. And we can see that they're acknowledging that they're acknowledging each other, and they're acknowledging that they want to connect at some point. Like, again,
we will do the niceties until we can come together.
We have a conversation without words, much like Colin and Penn do when they see each other across. This is very much paralleling.
There is a mutual understanding that there is something there.
Yes. And then Lady D clocks this from all the way across the dance floor.
What do you mean she clocks it? She's got cameras on these people. Like, if the Queen's using the peacocks, I don't know what she's using, but like, she's got Big Brother has got eyes
Yeah, she
everywhere.
clocks this. She clocks the both of them, and then she gathers the troops. She is not playing around this time.
So
She is
you
bringing
okay? You know
three
what?
choices.
You know what she reminds me of? Okay, I don't know how much romance you have read, but I am a fantasy romance girly. So all my fantasy romance girlies will know exactly what I mean when I say it is like when the alpha or one of the wolves of the pack or whatever smell that someone is aware that the person that they like is nearby and they're like, "What are you thinking about? Your scent has changed." Like I feel like I feel like Danbury's like, "Do I smell affection? Stomp on it."
Well, and I kind of see it like, remember in season one, whenever the Duke showed up and all the mamas came and they were like throwing their daughters at him because
Hmm.
everybody wanted him to choose their kid. I think like Lady Danbury views Violet kind of like as her sister or, in a motherly fashion here. Like she
Kate, big
sees her
sister
brother.
way. Yeah.
Yeah, she sees her brother as a bad dude. So instead, she's throwing people at him. She don't care if he chooses them or not. She's just wanting to create an obstacle.
Yeah.
But he's still getting women thrown at him.
Well, it's literally
Just not
Kate and Edwina. Like, just throw any nice enough fella at Edwina as long as it is not Anthony.
right. Yeah, she like introduces, and this is the whole thing too. Like Lady Danbury pretty much follows the rules of the ton, but she does shape it to her bidding when she needs to. Like she plays within the rules, but in this moment, she is so perturbed that she creates a huge faux pas because
Mm-hmm.
she is a lady. She is a woman.
Acting like a
She is
man.
she walked right up to her brother and acknowledged him, did not acknowledge the other two lords he was talking to
You know what I
whatsoever.
almost, you know what I almost want? I don't care what season we do this in. I need one episode of Lady D turning up to a ball in a suit.
Well, I think her dresses with the top hats is her equivalent.
Yeah.
I think that's her armor. That's her. I need to be a man today. I have to be masculine today. So I'm going to dress.
Yeah.
Whenever she wears her top hat, that's the case. But she totally ignores these two dudes. She acknowledges her brother by his given name,
Yes.
which you don't do in public.
Marcus.
Yeah. But the two lords know what she's about and they're not perturbed or offended at all. They find it like a joke and they both just kind of fade away. But they're both like, oh, we see what you're doing.
Well, because
So
in the
only
books,
Lady Danbury would
everyone
get away with this kind of.
in the books, everyone knew that Danbury was devious and cunning and sharp, and people
and
would
in the
actively
books,
avoid her.
yes, in the books, she often would walk up and start a
Why
conversation
are
with
we not
people.
getting people? I want to see some toes being crunched. I am missing that aspect. That cane
And we
came
had
down
her
on toes
brother.
all the time.
She's mad at her brother. We could have seen her swipe her cane at his shin like she did in the books too. Like, come on.
Missed opportunity.
So Violet gets the message and she kind of turns away. She looks at him like, sucks to be you, guy. And then she like turns away.
Yeah.
But Lord Anderson is peeved, but he still acts gentlemanly.
I think that Violet is aware that Lady Danbury is actively trying to come between them, and that's why she does eventually say, like, sort things out with your sister before, because I'm not choosing between you two.
Yes, but that's what I'm saying. She caught the message here. This was obvious because she missed the churchyard. She was facing away, so she knows what Danbury did.
She knows it's nothing to do with her because she knows that like Lady D loves her and that if he were a good match, and she thought it was going to make Violet happy. I don't think it has
to do with whether he's a good match or not. I think Violet thinks because like my brother, my friend kind of thing, kind of like how Eloise. Yeah. Like not that she necessarily thinks a bad dude because she doesn't. There, aside from Danbury is very masculine and she's the oldest, but the son got the inheritance. That's what she thinks. But I just want to point out too that for everybody who thinks that Penn and Colin should have announced their feelings long before they did and don't understand kind of how scandalous it was for him to finally confess his feeling carriage in the way he did and interrupting the dance. Like Lord Anderson here is doing what is societally proper.
Yeah.
He's mad he is mad that he's being waylaid but he is being a gentleman to these ladies. He is not calling her out. People are forced to conceal their true feelings out of propriety. So he would be causing scandal on himself and his sister if he started an argument or said something passive aggressive or told her like no more widows in front of these women. He would have opened them up to gossip, and you just don't do that. So I again like want to point this out as societal.
So Melly just posted to the Ladies Bridgerton my vibes for the whole week. It's here.
Yeah.
And it's I love that so much.
So he can't express his frustration openly, much like somebody who has feelings for someone cannot express openly, like especially a woman. She can't express her feelings openly until a man. So anytime you see a woman like being excited or playing, you know, showing things like Marianne and sensibility, she opened herself up caprice, like to be viewed as a capricious. So
yeah.
This is a full-on example of how you're acting in a moment may be counterintuitive to how you're feeling.
Yes. Speaking of how you're acting versus how you're feeling inside, can we talk about the Featheringtons now?
Yes, talk about Portia trying but missing the mark.
I have never liked that color, but it is quite winning on you.
The ultimate negging quote. If you look up negging in the dictionary, this quote would be there. Like, I hate it, but it works for you. But Penelope is so happy that she's getting her mother's attention finally that she just lets it slide.
It's in at least somewhat positive trajectory. It's not positive, but like it's getting there.
I just feel like inside Penelope's head as she's walking in, she knows she looks pretty, and her mom says that, and she's just like, I know you're trying.
No. Prudence. Prudence is in her sad girl era. I think in two ways. I think that, firstly, that Penelope is now the favorite, but I think it is also that Penelope is probably being praised in ways that Prudence has never gotten, because praise in her household is used, praise is weaponized.
Someone else down.
She weaponizes success and perceived failures. And when I say perceived, what I mean is Dinky and Finchy, because as much as Portia got them married off, it was like bare minimum in her mind.
And she puts them down all the time, calling them women, and you can't, you know, it's like, what are you asking a baker to bake?
Because in her mind, unless you are a gentleman of the ton who has money, who has influence or has title, you are essentially a woman. You are no better than a woman, because what can you offer me that a woman can't? You know, in her mind.
Because she sees security as masculine.
Yes. So in her mind, Dank and Finchy are no better than women. The only thing that they can offer her is a seed.
And she hasn't even said anything then. And Prudence is still like...
Only to find out that Finchy's seed is being wasted in this pen.
I mean, in this moment, Prudence and
you're meant to sow the garden, not your clothes.
Yeah. Prudence is still in her avoidant era with Dinky. They're not fully connected yet.
I love this reaction though. Like,
he tries to comfort her in the arm off, but
I love that Dinky tries to comfort her and calls her my sweet. My sweet. Those brothers really enjoy themselves. A sweet treat, a little bonbon. My sweet.
Yeah, but she says she's pregnant again with Scandal. I mean, she says it like, am pregnant.
I love the scene because I feel like you can see the connection being formed. And I feel like kind of in the way that Eloise is now out of the way for Dinky, Portia is now out of the way for him to actually build a connection with his wife. Like, Portia has always been in the way. Like, she's always been so intent on her mum's praise and her mum's, you know, that she says and does things that aren't necessarily her, but things that she does because she knows it's going to get her mum's attention. And now that is completely stripped away, like she's basically invisible to her mum, that now Dinky can actually be there to comfort her and show her what, I mean, this sounds misogynistic, but to show her what she didn't know she needed. And I say it like that because Portia has raised them to never show weakness, to never show vulnerability. So she didn't know that it's okay to. And I feel like the way that he is responding to her showing that vulnerability is teaching her that it is okay to be vulnerable, even if you're being a little bit of a prat.
Yes, and I don't think she was open to his affection and attention because she was seeking her mother so much that now
Yes.
that she's being completely ignored, she's able to be more open and receptive. Not so much in this scene, but it's coming. Like she's
This
able to cry
this
in front of him.
this scene
She
is
can't admit that it's
building.
crying. Yeah,
It is
it's
building
It's a
it's
building
building
scene.
a history of acceptance and support that she is realizing that he is consistent. He is
Yes.
not using this one weak moment to then throw it back in her face later on. He is consistently being supportive. He is consistently
Loving her.
being kind and allowing her to be vulnerable without ever using it against her later on. Which is
Right.
like, I'm sure there are times where
Portia-
she was vulnerable in front of Portia and Portia used
Yeah.
it against her later on.
Portia always used it again later on.
Mhm.
So he's being very consistent. He's loving her consistently. And it's taking her the longest time because I think she was as much as there was a golden child in this dynamic, I think it would have been, but mainly because she was a weapon used to put down others.
Kind of wish that they had put this scene, we're not finished it, but I wish they'd put this scene together with Fran's one, because I think it actually goes really, really hand in hand to show that exactly what Francesca is about to berate her mum on. Love doesn't have to be this lightning bolt from the sky. It doesn't have to be big. It doesn't have to be bold. It doesn't have to be all encompassing. It can build, and it can be a quiet support.
It can be
of
quiet,
kind of love.
But there's one word that Francesca says that lets me know she's naive in what she thinks love is.
Yes.
And I mean, I love that Dankworth is able to step up and fill the place that in Prudence's life that Portia, she wanted Portia. And we see by the end of the season, like she recognizes him as a true support.
How many successful marriages do you know where the man and woman, or man and man, doesn't really matter, where the couple are exactly the same, deal with things exactly the same, butt heads exactly the same? None. Because in my mind, a sign of a really healthy marriage is where you can help each other grow in areas that you have to grow in. And like for me, like I used to be really not emotional, but like big feels. And Steven's
used to be?
Trust me. Trust. The Greek fire was there. Steven is just so consistent and calm, and I know what to expect every single time. Like he doesn't weaponize his love against me to have those highs and lows, that when the highs feel good, it's so good. It's just a consistent.
And the lows crash you out because.
Yeah, I don't want those unhealthy. And it's not to say that we don't have highs. We very much do, but it's consistent. You know, it's not unhealthy in my mind.
There's been consistency to the point where if you do have a low, you don't think it's the end of the relationship or the end of which is why consistency matters.
When we have a low, I'm like, please feed me.
Yeah.
Please,
when you
feed
have
me
a low,
and face me to the sun.
Yeah, exactly. Like you understand like what's going on with me here, that this is occurring.
It is almost exclusively I need feeding, sleeping, or watering.
Yeah. I'm a Pisces. I definitely water.
Yeah.
And normally, like in my non-relationship, 9 times out of 10, we're having a low point, or we're irritable or snippy or whatever. It's usually a lack of sleep or a lack of.
Yeah. I adore that this is one of the iconic, like if we made just like a list of iconic Featherington phrases, this would make my top 10 list for sure. I am pregnant. Everyone knows a baby can push water up into one's eyes.
Well, she's not wrong because you're more emotional.
I love Philippa's.
I know. Phil's like,
oh, like that's gross.
And it reminds me, and I'm not going to think of the movie now. I'll probably think of it at like 2:30 in the morning. But there is a movie with that same exact reaction to something where the female like friend or something is like, oh, and I can't think of it's iconic. It's an iconic movie too. But I love that. Like Philippa is not accepting a bar of it. Like she's like, yeah, right. I'm not buying into your exes, right? We're emotional. But Finch is like he's thinking about it like, makes sense.
I'm not entirely sure that that's a factual factoid, but we'll go with that. Okay.
We'll go. It kind of makes sense, right? Like he looks like he's actually pondering it, which I'm just
I
going to say
do not
Lord
know
McDonald.
the female body anatomy enough to confirm nor deny this factoid.
But Lord McDonald, this is one of
I
your
only
moments
know
where
the inside of my pants.
I love you as an actor because I love the actors that completely act out what their character would be thinking or feeling, even when they don't have a line and the attention isn't them. Because the attention is completely on the sisters, and Finch is just standing there. He's just arm candy, basically, but he completely acts it out like he's truly thinking about that. Like, is that viable? Does that scientifically sound?
E equals MC squared plus babies make you cry.
Plus 4. I wonder what psychological medical journal that was in. I must go find it.
Portia is as Portia is and is completely ignoring them. I'm sure she can hear I actually don't know. I don't know
Portia, if I was Penelope in this moment, I would be smacking my mother's hands. She is picking at her hair, picking at her dress. Like, I'd be like, leave me alone.
Get off me, woman.
I am not your paper doll.
I genuinely do not know whether Portia is so far into her narcissism that she has tunnel vision of where is Colin? We need to get this match secured. Like, this needs to be a thing. I've got some sucking up to do. Or whether
no,
she is she
totally
hearing them and ignoring them?
When she says, "Where's your dashing fiance?" She is breathless and excited. Like, again, much like the statement she makes in episode 7, our nuptials. I feel like she's living vicariously through Penn, and she's forgetting that she's not the affiant. Like, she's excited to see Colin. Like, I think she's kind of grown a little crush of her own. And she's much like narcissistic parents can do. They can live vicariously through their kids if they did not get to experience something.
I don't know if it's the same in the US because obviously our Netflixes are different and what we have available are different. But Netflix just brought out the latest seasons of Say Yes to the Dress. And the amount of mums that will literally openly admit and say, this is our wedding. This is my day too. Like, say you need to go to psychology without saying you need to go to psychology.
Yeah.
So I think we will finish off with the conversation between Colin and the Mondricks and then save the rest. You were very much right about where you thought we'd get up to, and I was just
close,
I was being an optimistic queen. Okay, I forgot that we had a bit to get through. Okay, so
some new. Well, like when she says, "Where's your dashing fiance?" They then
pan over to Colin.
Pan to Colin walking up to the Mondrich, and I love that Colin loves a wolf.
My favorite is that pretty much the second that they start talking, Colin makes reference to, well, like, at least if we don't have the club, you can throw the most spectacular exquisite ball of the season. I knew it was some nice word. Okay. Exquisite ball of the season. And I just think that he is the most wonderful friend because he is remembering back to the club scene, the gentleman's club scene, and knows just how sad his friend is and wants to acknowledge your feelings are valid. I see you. I support you. Let me build you up. Like, you may not have this, but look what a wonderful job, as if he had anything to do with it. But, like, I mean, he might have, because
but I think,
they are
I think him,
a team.
Yeah, him saying that line, though, because it is a Wallflower Ball, the whole theme is Wallflower, that he's always loved himself a Wallflower. Like, he finds Penelope exquisite. Yes. And he is going to have a special affinity for this ball and really love this ball because it reminds him of something.
I know, but I think more than that, I think that he celebrated Will in such a beautiful way. Like,
Yes.
yes, we said goodbye to one aspect of your life, but now we are welcoming another. And look how spectacular this is. Look how exquisite this is. Like, you've essentially just traded in one bar for another, except now you're not pouring, you are
Yeah,
hosting.
one form of entertainment for another. Yeah.
Yeah.
And you do a lot less work in this form of entertainment.
Yes. Well, maybe.
I mean, there's planning, but the servants are the ones doing the manual labor.
Yeah. But yeah, I just thought it was a really, really beautiful interaction between friends of I see you and I
Yes.
support you. So I just wanted to mention what a bro queen Colin is.
Well, and I think
Bro
because I know
queens!
Colin is very observant, I think he did notice that his lady had walked into the ball and he's like, I need to go make my niceties because I'm not leaving the dance once I have her on my arm, because that's pretty
Yep.
much where they live after
It's
this
time
interaction.
for happy feet.
He's like, my lady's here. I better go see the one couple I wanted to see at this party before I go catch her.
Yes. Okay. And essentially, as this scene is wrapping up, it moves to the Queen arriving and calling the event lackluster at best when she has just walked in. Like,
Well, and
give
she's
it a
definitely in
second,
coloring.
lady.
She is in burgundy, which is Danbury colors, and blue,
Yes.
which is Bridgerton colors. And
Yes.
I think part of that is the mix of her she's got two roles at this party. One, Danbury asked her to come so that
Yes.
Alice and Will would have some validity in the ton. And two, she is always seeking Whistledown, and Whistledown's about to be Bridgerton. So that's where the blue comes in. And she has that gorgeous butterfly necklace. And as I've said before, when somebody's wearing a butterfly, they are a catalyst to Penelope's story of being revealed as Whistledown.
Little caterpillar. I did find it sort of ironic that she calls the event lackluster at best, which is basically saying, I find your house wanting, because at this point, she hasn't seen any of the event aside from a few decorations. And this is, yes, they decorated the walls with wallpaper, but that almost seems to me like more of a permanent fixture that you would find in a house rather than something that they added specifically for this event. To me, if it was going to be a wallflower event, I wanted to see. Bridgerton has done this beautifully in the past. Why is it that yes, I'm talking season 4, but again, it's not a spoiler. It's talking decorations. Why is it that every Bridgerton event has flowers from like on
dripping from everywhere,
dripping from every available source, but the wallflower event had no actual flowers outside the centerpiece? To me, what I would have done is, as the queen arrived or something, as the mechanical wallflowery situation opened, I was waiting.
Bed.
I was waiting. Where's the big event? Like, they spent so much money on the budget for the hot air balloon, but this could have been a moment. Like, we've had the Queen's events where all the lights came on, and we talked about this in one of our episodes, I think maybe with Ainsley Broom, where like if we were to do if we were going to do a ball, how would we make it work? And for me, this one is, I would have had some sort of, and this was completely plausible with the technology they had of the time, a cannon where as it finished opening, it cannoned out flowers that then cascaded down gently over, and that to me would have made it spectacular. Then as the ball finishes for the night, they have, because they obviously can't do it twice, otherwise they have to go repack it, as the last dance finishes, have all of the stuff around that top, around the top, and like float petals down at the end, but also have drapery from the ceilings and things, so you get the full flower effect. Like, for me, it was lackluster. It was, yeah, that middle piece was cool, but it could have been done to Bridgerton standard. If this is your first event and you know that a queen is potentially coming, I'm a go all out.
Well, and here's the thing, couple of things here. Again, I think this is all foreshadowing. So I think the Wallflower Ball is it's letting us know that the queen will accept Penn in the end, because she comes in, she sees a crowd of people hardly anyone dancing. If you walked into that dance, like a ball is for dancing and there's hardly anyone dancing. So it does look lackluster. And she says it's lackluster, but then she allows the flower to bloom. She has somebody start it and it blooms. Everybody is sufficiently impressed by the mechanical prowess. And then she says, she can't even say this is great. She says, not bad.
Not
and I
bad.
think that is because from this moment on, the rest of the episode is drama, and it ends poorly. I think it's all, and I think there's a reason paper flowers were used. This is their first ball. Danbury says it's going to be okay. They're not sure anyone's going to show up because they're new to the ton and they came from the working class. So they didn't want to spend a whole bunch of money. Plus, they've been this is their son's money, not theirs. So I think that they went frugal and they created something great with maybe wallpaper they found in the attic.
They created something not
bad. They created something not bad. But I do love this ball. Like, for me, I love this ball.
Smog can change his rating scale from lackluster to not bad.
Lackluster at best to not bad. And then put meh in the middle. But I do love this ball because they use their resources wisely. They created a beautiful space. I think the issue was way too many people were invited for the amount of space there was, but I think that was purposeful because I think this whole ball, and I don't know exactly who, I know Tom Verica didn't direct this episode. I can't remember who did, but this particular scene from start to finish, this ball from start to finish, is a metaphor of the whole story. What does the queen think of Whistledown, of Penn? What will she think of her in the end? Even a wallflower can bloom. I think this particular scene is what lent to that quote for the season, even though it was not a love quote, and that still makes because this is the moment, from this point on, when Cressida takes ownership of Whistledown, Penn blooms. Penelope blooms here. She starts speaking up for herself, even to Eloise. She just, her chrysalis is over at this party, and I think that it is an entire allegory for how everything's going to play out, because we're about to see an hour and 30 some minutes of angst coming for us before the happily ever after.
We're about to enter our anxiety era. Yeah, I just meh. I don't know. I was waiting for the thing. It opened up. Where's the thing? Like, I wanted more. And so I see that the queen, I think, thinks that as well. And that's why she says not bad, because
I think she liked the mechanical aspect
of it. The queen
of it
has been so bored in her life that all she wants is just for something to...
But that flower
make her feel anything,
makes even less dance floor. So
I feel like she just wants anything, like she just wants anything to make her feel. And so when they have these events and they just have a ball and nothing happens, or it's just prettily decorated, she's like,
no, she doesn't
boring.
Even perk up until Cressida.
But that's what I'm saying. Like this is all just boring. But if they had something spectacular, like cascading flowers, like it went kaboom, it was a cannon and it shot flowers out, and she's looking up in wonderment, kind of like the Sophie. And they could have done that foreshadowing for that moment. Sophie's looking up at the.
But remember, in actual Romancing Mr. Bridgerton, the ton was bored. They'd had so many years upon years of doing the same thing that this particular season where Penelope and Colin get together is a rather boring one. And Danbury creates the search for Whistledown to spice things up. So I think that we're supposed to feel the mundane a little bit.
We went so far away from the book already that we could have done this. I just think that it was a little lackluster, and even within the Bridgerton budget, it would have cost absolutely next to nothing to make it.
They used all the budget for the butterfly ball because that entire ceiling was green screened.
Yeah.
Computer generated. The butterflies were computer generated. Yeah.
It could have been like $1,000 to add a cannon to shoot out, or not even that. Like, it would have actually been a very low budget. I mean, more than I think, because then you got to have safety people and mechanical people.
Yes.
More than you think, but still, like, a very, very low budget for how impactful it could have made.
Or even if they would have netted flowers ceiling, and when that bloomed, they'd
Mhm.
release them.
Yes.
I get what you're saying, but
There
I
was
do think
moments
that
to
they
make it
were
better
the
than that.
Mondricks had been complaining, not so they had been concerned about preserving this legacy for their son and not feeling entitled to spend the money themselves, that they were never going to do anything lavish.
But they could have gone out, had their staff go and pick flowers out in a field somewhere. We saw those fields that Lady Danbury and Lord Ledger were walking through. There was plenty of wildflowers to go collect those petals and just go poof, poof. I've been on my soapbox enough. It's time to wrap this episode up because I just feel like I'm just give me flowers. Last
know,
year I
you
had, but some of them are quite a bit bigger than last year. I don't want one big flower. I want lots of flowers. Dudley.
Speaking of big flowers, I think that one of the funniest, kind of cutest things I've seen recently is Kristen Bell at some big event. They have these huge roses that look like the size of a dinner plate, and she just can't get over them. And she reminds me of us, like, why is nobody else as impressed with this as I am?
Yes, I think I saw that actually. Yeah.
Like, Kristen Bell, we could be friends. Because
My
I would be like, that's a huge rose.
my favorite is a TikToker from Ohio. She is a forager. Surely you've seen her. She's massive. She forages and teaches
No,
people.
but a lot of people forage in Ohio, so yeah.
So she's got a huge following in Ohio. She's drop dead gorgeous and the quirkiest little cat in the world. I love her. She teaches, she plays a game every episode. Which one of these is poison and which one's a snack?
Yeah.
Which
not
one's
seen
going to
it, but
send
yeah.
you to anyway.
It'll pop up on my TikTok now, though, that
It
you
will.
talked about it.
So
my phone will hear it.
She
and
went
I'll now get it.
to big awards recently, and one of the backdrop is like a hedge of some sort of hedgy thing, and it was in bloom, which meant it had the little berries or nuts or something. So here is this girl on the red carpet picking their hedge and filled her entire purse with them and took them back to Ohio to make it into a jam.
That's funny.
I was like, this is my kind of girl. On that note,
people amaze me all the
sorry
time.
for the tangents today. For today, gentle listeners, we will leave it there and continue with more flowers next week.
Wow. Stephen, get your wife some flowers. She obviously needs.
We've been doing hedging actually. If you have anything in particular you would like to cover or any Bridgerton knowledge you would like to share, please head to our Facebook page at The Ladies Bridgerton. And if you are enjoying our podcast, please remember to click like, subscribe, and leave comments wherever you are listening, especially at the moment on YouTube. Spotify does not pay us. Just FYI for any new listeners, Spotify does not pay us. We do not get paid.
It's very hard to monetize as a podcast.
We do not get paid in any form outside of our very, very generous Patreons and Buy Me a Coffee subscribers. But realistically, it should. We bring in a lot of listeners, so many because we're so famous, to these platforms. So famous.
But we are growing. We are growing so fast on YouTube because of the new season coming out. Please share. Please find a video that you love and share it.
Or just subscribe. Honestly, it's the biggest thing you can do for us right now.
Please subscribe. It would help us out. We need 500 prescribers.
Prescribe to us. We are the medicine to modern days.
We are the medicine for the Bridgerton drought.
Yeah.
Okay. We will still be here when Bridgerton season 4 is over.
One of the cast members was a little bit cheeky and was like, you know what, in today's society with everything going on, let there be a little bit of Bridgerton in the world to perk us up, and ain't that the bloody truth?
That's the truth. So we need 500 subscribers. We're at 140 right now. Our goal is to get as close as we can in this season's drop. We would love to reach the 500 mark by March. That would be awesome.
Sir,
so share,
I'd like some more.
Comment. The more you comment and like and share, the more we are able to grow. And we appreciate all of you who have subscribed already. We appreciate everyone who comments. I try and answer every single comment. Even if I'm just liking it or reacting to it, I do try and comment. Oh, once again, thank you for listening to the musings and tangents of two mad women.
Yours truly, Tosh the Tired Kiwi.
And Lady.
I'm in love with the shape of you.